move on. Right at the moment, you're a strap-on. I've strapped you onto my head. Not something I would relish. As you can see in this one here, I have put the seal in. Wrong. Don't do that dumb shit. The bearing needs to go in first and needs to be pressed in using the special tool. That little baby there. It's precision made with the particular steps. It has a number on it that says 204-003 LDR 1333, made in Germany, Deutschland, über alles. Sorry guys, that one didn't really work, because you're not, but you're a fucking great nation. Can't remember the exact part number. Doesn't matter, I will type it in prior to pushing this video out. That seal has to come out because it's fucked. Then we need to pump grease into this bearing with my special little tool. Then we will press that bearing in using my special little tool that cost a fucking fortune. By Christ, it's heavy. Then we can put the seal in, you know, there. But you can't do that until you've pressed everything in. Now, again, going back to this tool, which is why you need it, it has set steps so that you don't push the bearing in too far. Then you will be able to measure a clearance using whatever you use. In my case, it's going to be a depth gauge and a dial gauge, and measuring that and then using these shims. Now I have 3 shims here. I do have some more. I just wanted to show you these. Ignore the number because it depends on a particular thickness of shim, so you don't really want to go, oh, that's what he bought. No. You need to measure shit before you put this together. I have a number of shims that I will use. Shims, spacers, call them what the fuck you want, it doesn't matter. And this tool, let me just try and show you here. It goes in the center of the shaft and pushes down on the bearing. Now obviously I'm not going to do it because I've got to take it out to the press, and yes, I will take you with me when I go out to the press, because then that's nice central. Push that in there, you line this up and you press on there and it gets it to the correct setting. Then after that is done and the bearing is now pushed in, you can then decide what size of shim you need. But it's not just a case of, oh, I'll use a... No, you've got to use a depth gauge, you've got to check things, you've got to measure things. And I will show you how to do that. Why? Because I'm a fucking idiot. Why should I show you that? Well, because that's what you tune to my channel, I believe, hope. And then we'll get on to the main, well, not the main, but onto this area here. And also, do note, you see my silly little screws here that I always bitch and talk about? That's going to stop the grease coming out of that stupid little hole. Never was a good design. Now these 2 hub carriers, they're from, I want to say they're probably from different vehicles. This one's a little porous, got a couple of holes in it. It's what the customer gave me, it's what I work with. So hopefully that'll work out okay. Next video is me pressing in the bearing. I'm not going to show you how I'm going to grease these bearings in my grease bearing packer, my grease packer bearing packer, because you've seen it before, and it's not really exciting, is it? So we've got to pack those bearings first before we put them in. I've got to get this out, and then shock horror, we'll press them in. Not press a piss. I take the piss, I don't press a piss. Ugh, and there are people that like that stuff, you know, being peed on them. Ugh. Fucking weirdos. Sorry, not Not something I get excited about. If someone pees on me, I want to have a shower immediately. Yuck. Sorry, I digressed. Right, nice nipples. I like nipples. Ooh, look at those lovely nipples. Let's go press the bearings. Alright, another kind of sidestep here regarding greasing the bearings. This one I have greased from the inside. That reminds me of a joke, and I'll tell you that in a minute. And I put the other bearing on here. Try and do more than one bearing at a time, otherwise you're going to pump this full of grease and it fills up the center before it pumps it out through the bearings, and of course that means you use a lot of grease. Now I have my little jar here that I put it in for use on the fulcrum bearings, etc. But you know, it's just a little thing you might want to try and do. So now I'm pumping in more grease into this, and it should, in theory, my theory, start coming out pretty soon, or pretty soon. Have I got that tight? Good and tight? Yes, it is good and tight. Okay, and I can see the grease coming out already. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's coming out the top of the bearings. I'm just going to keep pumping for a little longer because I like to pump it up, pump it up. And you can see now it's squeezing out the bottom as well. There's nothing worse than grease squeezing out your bottom, believe me, I know. So we got a whole shitload of grease here. We're just going to smear it around, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to smear it into my jar, my special little side jar for collecting grease. Nothing to do with John revolting. Just get that in there. Oh, damn, I promised you a joke, didn't I? Oh crap, I'm gonna have to play the video back before I can even tell you that rather disgusting joke, because I can't remember where the hell I was going. Pump it up, grease, no. All right, but before we go to that, I just bought a new adapter for my grease gun here, and it's called Lock and Lube. I have had nothing but trouble with grease guns, putting them on, taking them off. This one's Lock and Lube. It's not the cheapest thing going, I must admit, but I pushed it on there. You know, you squeeze it down, you push it on and you let go, and you do that and it's off. I mean, how much fucking simpler do you want it? You know, you don't push it on, you squeeze that, push it in, let go. That's it, it's locked. It's locked in position. You pump your grease, you go, I'm done, press the button, and it's off. I mean, that's fucking brilliant in my book. Hey, you don't like it? Don't go buy it. Lock and Lube. Just Google it, you'll see. Now, okay, obviously here is my bearing now, full of grease that is more than it needs. But that's okay. You can't have too much grease in my book. Now you can see there, just by looking at that it's pumped it everywhere. Now I like to just, you know, give it a run around with my fingers, and besides it feels kind of horny doing that. And then I'm sorry, this is just one I didn't do earlier, and this is one I didn't prepare earlier, just to get the grease all over the fucking place. So, ooh, looks like a massacre. Now I'm gonna, before I go any further, let me scoop this out of here and put it in my grease jar. Sorry, you're gonna have to watch this because I can't turn the camera off because I'm covered in fucking grease. That's all right. You can just play with yourself while I'm doing greasy things, and you do whatever floats your boat. As long as it don't interfere with me, I don't give a shit what you do. Although shagging a donkey in the ass is not good, because the donkey didn't consent. You may say he did, but I doubt it. Can I get any more of this shit off of me? Why am I doing this? Because I'm a fucking Jew. I want to save everything. Alright, I'm sorry. It's bad English humour. It's just a joke. No different to the Scotsman joke. You heard the one about the Scotsman that dropped a shilling. It hit him on the back of the head. Think about it. Sorry, you're going to have to watch me wash my hands. Then we will go out to back, and we will press in the bearings. And you're going to be so excited, you are just going to go naughty, naughty, naughty in your panties. Oh shit, that water's hot. Huh. Hey, guess what? It's Arizona. Of course it's fucking hot, you dickwad. Even the hot, cold water's hot. Oh dear. That is, whoa, yeah, that's hot, cold water. What the fuck? I hope you're having fun. Look, what does it say? 95. This is in my garage at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. 13:58 for all you morons. Hey, 13:58 is a proper time. Okay. 95 degrees. Doesn't tell me the humidity, but yesterday it was around, I think it was around 60% in the garage. There's my Mark II. Oh, she goes into the body shop in a few weeks. Here is my XK8. Now, I know I'm kind of digressing here with, because this is IRS shit that I'm working on. But if any of you are Jaguar nuts and you need stuff for your XK8, contact 480-203-8091. Shop at Sort Out One. He only deals in XK8, so if you don't have an XK8, don't bug him, because he ain't got what you want. But I have an XK8, I have a Mark II, I indirectly have an E-Type, split between me and my brother. So, you can tell I'm a Jaguar freak, nut, asshole, whatever you want to call me. Alright, so now let's take these babies out the back with our special tool that we waited 3 weeks for and push the bearings in. No, you idiot, you can't do that. You've got to take that seal out first. So let me remove these before I forget. Let me get my fingers greasy again on that one, because I can do that. Alright, now let me get that seal out, get that bearing in, then we're going to go and get depressed. Okay, here I am with my press. Excuse me. I mean, even with the appropriate tool, you could probably do it without a press, you could do it with a hammer. But really, the right tool is the way to do it, and with a press. This is the right tool in here. It sets it to the correct depth. Now you note it spins, it moves. I've got a bar here, so I'm not pressing on the studs. That's not something you want to do, because they'll pop out. They'll give you all sorts of grief. I've put a piece of flat metal in there so that it pushes down evenly. And if he doesn't like it, that's his problem. Now, let us see what we can do. I'm afraid this really probably isn't going to be of much interest to you, because I'm just going to push it on. Wow. And I tell you what, because it's so fucking hot here, I'm at the limit already. Ha! Amazing. Okay, let's pull it out. Well, we're still spinning. That's good. That's always a good sign. Spinning. No, not what was his name? Winning, always winning. You know, that guy. Okay. So yeah, we are there. That's good news. All right. So now let's go and see what kind of end float we get. Then we can decide what size shim is required. Okay, before I put these seals in, now that I have pressed these down using this special tool, which is ridiculous, but it's I guess a precise machined piece of stuff. I'm not going to put the seals in, I think I just said that. I'm going to check the end float, the difference between the bearing and the shaft, so between that lip and that lip, and on each one, and then that will dictate the shims. Where did my shims go? Shim shim shalabim. There you go. And that will dictate which shim goes in which one. So let me get on to measuring that. And I'm sorry, I'm a little wiped out. I had to go out to my secondary shed, which is out the back, and it's about 115 degrees at the moment outside. Inside my garage it says it's a mere, come on, show me, 95. Out there it's a lot fucking hotter, and I must admit I am feeling rather faint, so I'll be back in a moment. Alright, first of all, let me say, you're going to have to put up with a funny angle here. I can't get my tripod to do what it used to do when I was young. We now need to set up the hub assembly here. As you can see, it moves freely. It's a little stiff, no denying it. It's a little stiff, like my penis. So I used the special tool, I think it's called JD15, to press the bearing in. Pressed it in and got to a point where I said, okay, that's enough. So took it out. They tell me incorrectly that this step here is 150 thou. It's not, it's about 144. So that means that excuse my coughing, when I push this in here, I managed to get it down to 144, but that wasn't correct for what I needed. So I had to turn it up the other way and tap it down a little further to try and get some clearance for the shim. So what I have to do now is use this little beastie here and this little beastie here, which is a big chunk of steel, to see the difference on the two surfaces. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to manhandle you now. Between this surface, which is the hub itself, and this, which is the bearing, you need to know the difference so that you can set it correctly. So, one big ass chunk of steel, one depth gauge, for want of a better word, and this one's called, well, made by Fowler. I think I found it on eBay. Wasn't expensive, worth the investment, cost a few bucks. So first we need to set it to 0. So I hope you can see this. If not, too fucking bad. and set it to 0. No, that says 1, that says 0. And I'm in the wrong spot. Sorry, I'm going to tweak you now so you can hopefully see better. So I want to set it on this edge here. Sorry, there is grease everywhere, so the fucker wants to move. I got to get in the right position. It's an imposition. Okay, and that should now be zeroed. Sorry guys, this is kind of fiddly. Bear with, bear with. Don't rush me. I'll tell you what, this is a fucker to... Oh, I've got grease on the end. Makes it slide all over. And you gotta get it right, otherwise you're not gonna get an accurate reading. Oh boy. Oh, this is the fun part of this job. I don't mind so much, but give it a twist. I'm going to have to tell you the numbers. You're going to have to believe me. And if you don't believe me, I don't give a fuck. So, now have I got... Nope, it's not in the right place. Oh, motherfucker. Come on. This is so lively. No, no, no. Come on. You can do this. All right. I have a reading now of 0... Fuck. This really is a penis rectumus. If I can get this fucker to stay level. Right, finally I'm on 0. Now I will move to the end of the shaft and it says 1, 3, 5. Okay, 1, 3, 5. So the difference between this edge here and that edge down there is 135 thousandths of an inch, which tells me I need a spacer of 135. Let us see what I can find. Don't go away. Not sure if you can see this on the screen here. CAC 3818-134, which gives you 134. I need 135. CA 3818-136. Go for the bigger gap, which means I go for the 134. That gives it a little more play, and hopefully that will help. Okay, how did I achieve this and where do we go? I got the tool, I think it's got a JD15 from S&G Barrett, and as far as I'm aware they say that this I want to call it a shim, this spacer part here is machined to 150 thousandths. It's not. In my case it's 144, so it's 6 thou off. So be careful of that when you're using this tool. There is another number on this tool which says 204003, made in Deutschland, in Germany, and you put it in here. Sorry, this is I'm kind of going backwards here, but you're just gonna have to fucking live with it. And then you press it in. I discovered once I got down to the level that pressing it in was the end of it. So I had to pick it up, turn it around and tap it in a little deeper so that I could get the clearance I needed. Then you grab a trusty seal. Sorry, not seal, shim. They are varying thicknesses. Let me see what I have here. What do I need? I said I needed a brain. A 130. Jeez. You see what happens when you think you hurt your brain? Hang on, let's get the... I'm having trouble starting, sorry. Alright, let's set my micrometer to 0. Okay, and let's see what I got in the way of shims. Shim shim shalabim. I think I needed a 133, didn't I? I can't remember. I'll have to watch the video. That's a 110. I definitely know that ain't gonna work. Now that's a 135. That's an interesting one. We'll put that to the side, because I think that's roughly where I wanted. And that's a 137. I think that's way too big. So there you go. I'm sorry, that's really nothing for you to look at there. Or there, come to think of it. But you need a nice piece of metal to go here so you can measure correctly the depth. Once it's all together, we'll check the end float. I'm going to look this up, make sure that that is something that works. Then I will check the other hubba. I waited a long time for this tool. It's meant to be precisely machined, but I was kind of disappointed. They said that that gap or that depth would be 150 thou, and it's 143.44. Let's say 144 to be generous. 6 thou difference. If you use this tool, do measure that. Did I measure it? Yes. I put it there, and then I got my little depth thingy on it, and let me show you. And you're not going to be able to see the numbers purely because that's the way I'm going to do it. And I put it on there, and I set 0, 0, and then I move it, and it drops. It says 142. 142, 143, 144. Okay, you know, we're not going to be that picky, but you know, we want to get it close, guys, and that's not close. So I use every time I video. Oh my god, it never stops. I wouldn't mind if it was, you know, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Angelina Jolie, some beautiful woman, but it's normally some dirty old guy that wants me to fix his car. Okay. I'm going to push this one out now. The next thing I will do will be to order the shims. Shim shim shalabim for that. And I'll start the next video, which is probably going to be tomorrow in all honesty, regarding getting this shaft in and set up, because I can do that without these shims, but I do need to make sure I order 2 correct shims. This now is set. Oh, shut up! Yes, I could turn it off, but I can't. So this is, I want to say, a little on the stiff side, but that will certainly loosen up. It's not rock solid. Once I've done the shim and get the shaft in there, I will then spin it to here, and I will pump this hole full of grease. They say half, I say no, full. Pump it full of grease, as much grease as you can get in there. Grease is cheap. What's the worst that can happen? It comes out somewhere. Big fucking deal. And this is a beautiful piece of equipment. That, oh, yeah, as I said, that feels a little on the stiff side, but it feels absolutely perfect. There is 0 end play, and that's what you want, between 0 and 4. Because this is all new, it's 0, because that's the way I fucking roll. Oh, I hope I get to see this in the car and watch the guy drive it. Maybe if he lets me, I will see that. Alright, I'm going to do the same on the other hub carrier. Nothing more exciting than that. As I said, next video I'll start with the assembly of this, and then if you're really lucky, you'll see the whole thing put together. I did promise the customer that it will be available next week. Unfortunately, now I have to order the shims, and it ain't gonna happen. Life's a bitch. Oh, there it goes again. Oh my god. Leave me alone. Sorry. Customers, I love you and hate you. Get out of the garage. Like, comment, subscribe to my crap. Do some shit. Alright, heads down. These are just some of the tools I used to actually achieve this, which it's up to you. I don't give a shit. You may find useful. Big ass chunk of steel. That's just the gun across the top. The tool, the Jaguar tool, 204-003, number LDR1333, made in Deutschland. I believe it's also called a JD15. Micrometer, very useful, very handy for measuring the thickness of the shims that you have in your back pocket. Whilst I appreciate the, I think you call them vernier micrometers, that requires engaging a brain cell. The digital one does it quickly. Then this, I think I got this from eBay, Fowler, a depth gauge, EDP 16685. Nice little tool. Oh, and comes with instructions too. Is this the most sophisticated tool? No, but then again, no, this is my dick. But it's a good tool. It works. Can't remember what it cost. Go on eBay, find it. For what you're doing, it's good enough. There you go. Alright, that is the end of this video. Part God knows what. Probably around 27, I think. But I'm not going to put money on that one. Next one, hopefully, will be the final one that shows it completed, that I can give it back to the customer and he can give me lots of money and we can all be happy. But we still got a way to go yet, so don't rush it. Okay? What else can I say? Like, comment, subscribe, ding your dong, and get out in that garage and do some shit.